Good morning, friends and enemies. In today's video, I'm going to go through 6 players that I would trade a third-round rookie pick for right this instant. Like, I would go offer whatever league mate in my league has this player and send him a third. Sometimes you'll have to throw a second, third in there just to spice it up a little bit, but without a doubt, be willing to part ways with a third-round rookie pick. And I think this is important. I think it's an important video, and I'm going to also do this for second-round rookie picks, because at this time of the year, people are a little bit uncertain of all the players in rookie drafts, and I think there's a lot of value to be capitalized on, just given the fact that people love rookie picks. The closer we get to the draft, the more valuable they become, and I think sometimes trading them for certain value or tangible value right now, or tangible upside right now that you know is real, as opposed to some fake mythical value of a rookie pick. Third round picks, low stakes, and the players that you're going to get for them are relatively low stakes as well. So with that being said, like, you give them up, it's not really that big of a deal. And this video was inspired by a tweet that I saw by a guy named Ryan Heath. He does work in the fantasy space, the NFL space, and I think he either wrote an article that was similar to this topic, or it was about this specific player, and this was like the way he phrased it. But he said that he would trade a third-round rookie pick right now for guerendo. And that was something I wholeheartedly agreed with and was the first player up on my list. And the way I looked at this was on Keep Trade Cut right now, you can go look at what rookie picks are valued at. So an early third-round pick is the 208th overall player, a mid third-round pick is the 222nd, and a late third is the 243rd ranked player. And that was a few days ago. And by the time you guys are watching this, all of those are going to go up in value. Like, you'll see trend lines of these values of picks continue to go up and up and up and up and up until rookie drafts happen. So some of these players, like guerendo, is the first player up on this list, all right? I just think the overall profile of guerendo and the glimpses of hope we saw from his rookie year, as well as just like the situation, presents like a really good buying opportunity, right? We have Jordan Mason. He's a restricted free agent this offseason, so we'll see if they end up resigning him. But if you remember, like, guerendo coming out, his athleticism and his combine performance was quite literally all time. Like, if I'll resurface this tweet for you, there are 5 running backs in NFL combine history to run a 4.4 or below, faster, weigh 215 plus pounds, have a burst score of 120 plus. It's Saquon, Jonathan Taylor, Breece Hall, Adrian Peterson, and guerendo. So, I mean, he was a 4th round rookie pick. He went into the year kind of buried on the depth chart. Obviously, they just re-signed C-Mac. They had Jordan Mason. So he was like in that mix for the 3rd, 4th running back. But when he got his chance, he was ready towards the end of the year. Like, he is a big play, explosive player. And because of that, his metrics ended up being fantastic. Like, his yards per carry, 5.0. True yards per carry, 16th in the NFL, 4.5. Yards per touch, number 6 in the entire NFL. Juke rate, which is Player Profiler's metric for just overall elusiveness, was number 19 overall in the NFL among all running backs. And he did this against, if you see on the bottom there, average number of defenders in the box and stacked front carry rate, meaning the percentage of plays in which the defense stacked the box, having more defenders than offensive linemen, literally the highest rate in the entire NFL. If you look at some of the other metrics, you go to fantasy points, which has a phenomenal data suite over there of 54 qualified running backs with 75 or more carries. Guerendo ranked 6th in missed tackles forced per attempt. It was Kenneth Walker, James Conner, Bucky Irving, Ray Davis, Jameer Gibbs, guerendo. His explosive run rate, 5th in the NFL. His 5 yards per carry, 7th in the NFL. Now, he's definitely not a flawless runner. I remember watching film of him at Louisville, and I was like, oh, this guy is actually better than I imagined. Like, I honestly thought we were going to get some like Kenny Nwangwu, where he was like, if anyone remembers him, he came out as like a combine warrior, 215 pounds, 4.4 40, whatever, but like, terrible runner. Guerendo, I thought, had really good vision. I thought he was able to utilize like the leverage of his blockers really well at Louisville, and he happened to be 225 pounds, 220 pounds, and run really fucking fast. So on a down-to-down basis, he's not the best back in the world, no doubt about it. But at the end of the day, when you have his type of size, his type of speed, that explosiveness and that athleticism, like he's going to get there if given the opportunity, right? Like 20 touches, 17 of them might go for 3 yards. The other 3 are going for 17, 22, and 70. Obviously, if C-Mac is fully healthy, like, it's pretty much over for anybody else in the backfield. But, I mean, based off last year, you got tendonitis in the Achilles, you got the knee injury, the PCL that ended his season. He's going to be 29 soon. Like, it's only red flags for C-Mac. So I could see a world where guerendo you know, you send that third, and even if he's like the starter for 4 or 5 games next year, 3, 4, 5 games, I kind of feel like that's worth it because he's getting you 20 touches if he can stay healthy, obviously. So attach yourself to San Francisco's offense, and that's a bet I'm willing to make. Moving down the list, we've got a PPR scam receiver here, and that's Wan'dale Robinson. He is the wide receiver 71 right now, and of course, this is only for full PPR leagues. There is an obvious quarterback upgrade coming to this offense in one way or another. I don't know from whom, from where, what it's going to be, but it can't get any worse. Wan'dale Robinson had 140 targets last year, okay, and caught almost 100 balls, which is crazy. And if you look at the contract situation for the Giants, the 6 wide receivers they have under contract next year, Malik Neighbors, Wan'dale Robinson, Jalen Hyatt, Bryce Ford Wheaton, Montrell Washington, and D. Williams. Okay, Darius Slayton finally gone. Doesn't really matter because Wan'dale plays a very, very different role, obviously. In my opinion, he's like he's kind of the opposite to Isaac Guerendo, where there's no real upside there with Malik and just the type of player he is as a slot guy and like an 8 yards average depth of target guy. But he's a perfect guy to have on your bench. Like, again, you might only start him 5, 6 times a year, definitely during bye weeks. Maybe if you're a larger starting lineup league where you start 2 to 3 flexes, you know you're getting 10 PPR points from him. And if there's a quarterback that comes in that utilizes the slot a lot, or is just a much better quarterback than anything they've had over the last 5 years, Wan'dale's upside maybe hasn't been realized, okay? And again, 140 targets last year, like, not a joke here, okay? So they don't really have any other tight ends of consequence, any other wide receivers of consequence. Like, they don't have any real running backs soaking up a ton of targets like Saquon did when he was there. So I think Wan'dale still very young. Like, I think he's worth a 3rd round pick for sure. Going back to a little bit more upside, we've got Jordan Whittington out of the LA area, the Los Angeles Rams. Right now, he's the wide receiver 79 in Dynasty. There's a lot going on in LA right now, okay? Sounds like Cooper Kupp is going to be gone. Tutu Atwell and Demarcus Robinson are both unrestricted free agents, which I think is probably like the underlying really big part of this pick here. With those 2 gone and Cooper Kupp gone, he missed a lot of time. But if you combine those 3 guys' targets last year, you're looking at 230, 240 vacated targets. Honestly, Puka might take every fucking one of them, but if he doesn't, Jordan Whittington might get some of them. Whittington was a guy that got a ton of hype during the summer. Didn't get a ton of play time last year, but when he got opportunity, he was good. And they have very little else going on there. And he's like the perfect type of player that they use in LA under McVay. He plays very similar to Cooper Kupp and Puka, like a guy that can play outside, inside, very tough, strong at the catch, like loves physicality, loves to run block. Like, that's the type of player that they want to fill in for Cooper Kupp when Cooper Kupp leaves. Things are going to get complicated with Matthew Stafford. Now, the way I'm looking at that situation, like, they're giving him the opportunity to talk to other teams. This feels, in my opinion, very much like the Lamar Jackson situation, where Stafford has his opinion of how he's valued. The Rams might not agree, or they feel like there's too much risk in order to give him the offer that he wants. So they're telling him, go test the market. Whatever it comes back as, we're probably going to match that. That's the way I'm looking at it. I don't see a world where they have what they have on paper. They feel like they can compete with a defense that could end up being top 5 next year in the NFL, and they're just going to let Stafford walk. It makes very little sense. It makes almost no sense. They don't have a backup quarterback plan whatsoever. So I would be shocked if Stafford is playing elsewhere next year, despite all the heavy rumors. This, to me, feels like, again, a Lamar Jackson situation. You go out, find what the market is for you. We're going to end up signing you to whatever that market value is because we think it's lower than whatever you think it is, okay? I ultimately think it's worth the gamble to say Stafford's going to be back. Cooper Kupp is not going to be back. Tutu and Demarcus Robinson, again, unrestricted free agents. I think it opens up a lot of opportunity for him. I'm looking at Fantasy Points' average separation score. If you guys haven't checked that out, that's a metric that they use. That's their own metric that they create, average separation score, to show you like how well they separate from defensive backs. Last year, Jordan Whittington ranked 13th in the NFL. Like, Nico Collins was 9, AJ Brown was 10, Amon-Ra was 14, Jordan Whittington was 13th, okay? So he ain't that type of player, obviously. He's not as good as those guys, but I think there's enough to work off of rookie year where you're learning behind Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, and you get more opportunity and you become a good playmaker in that offense. All right, we're moving over to the tight end position. Just quickly, if you guys have enjoyed this video thus far, I just ask you hit the button that looks like this down below. It lets YouTube know that you like this video. The more likes we have on a video, it tells me that, okay, maybe I should make more of these. So do that for me, please. Subscribe to the channel if you are new as well. Again, we're doing Dynasty videos throughout the entire offseason. A lot of rookie stuff incoming. We did a rookie mock draft on Tuesday's video, so go check that out if you have not. And we'll be covering the combine, all that good stuff. Let's move to Cincinnati, where I'm throwing Mike Gesicki on this list. Mike Gesicki is the tight end 37 right now in Dynasty. Now, again, moving parts here. This is obviously only predicated on him re-signing in Cincinnati, but I personally think it is worth the gamble right now for two main reasons. Eric All was their promising rookie, and honestly, I probably would have put him on this list had he not gotten hurt. But apparently, from what I'm reading, he obviously suffered a season-ending injury last year and then suffered a major setback in his recovery. And I just saw an article last week that said he is set to miss the entire 2025 season. So that is going to open up the tight end position again in Cincinnati, unfortunately. The other reason here is Joe Burrow has been very, very vocal in what he wants to happen in Cincinnati this offseason. The priorities are getting his fucking pass catchers under contract. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and he continues to be outwardly talking and throwing Mike Gesicki's name into that group. They're going to give Jamar Chase an unbelievable extension. T. Higgins is probably going to get the franchise tag. I think they're going to sign Mike Gesicki. I think they're just going to bend the knee to whatever Joe Burrow wants, and they should. And I think they're going to cave and give Gesicki a contract. I mean, you look at, it was his first year in Cincinnati. It's his third team in 3 years, all right? Took him a second to get settled in, but if you look at the splits over the second half of the year, he's averaging over 10 PPR points per game. Like, he was genuinely good. He wasn't scoring a lot of touchdowns, obviously, because Jamar Chase is a guy who led the league in end zone targets with 18 of them. So you don't have a lot of other avenues to go down when you have a dominant force like Jamar Chase and a dude like T. Higgins. So I don't necessarily expect Mike Gesicki ever to really surpass 3-4 touchdowns in this offense, but I think he can be a PPR guy for sure. And again, I think he's worth the gamble here. Like, he is number 236 on Keep Trade Cut. Like I said, a late third is 243 and only moving up right now. So if you could throw a late third for Mike Gesicki with the risk of gambling that he might not be in Cincinnati next year, all that, etc., I personally think it's worth it because of Eric All's injury. We got two more players on this list, and this one's going to be, again, I don't think it's risky because this player is ranked 261, and like I said, a late third is like 235, 240. So it's actually almost a fourth-round pick, or two late thirds will hopefully get this deal done. If Keep Trade Cut's not completely full of shit, which I know most of y'all fuckers out there who do Dynasty stuff are full of shit all the time, so you probably can't do it. People are going to want like a late second for this motherfucker. Austin Ekeler, all right? Austin Ekeler, 261st overall, RB65. He's going behind dudes like Nick Chubb, Jaleel McLaughlin, Kamani Vidal. Austin Ekeler, you know, we have this vision in our mind of Ekeler just being absolutely cooked, toast. Put him in the microwave and fucking turn it up to 10 minutes, let him explode in there, based on how he's finished the last couple seasons. We had the high ankle sprain in LA, moves to Washington, suffers a concussion, second of the year last year, which caused him to miss 4 games. But on a per-touch basis, his numbers last year in Washington were as good as they've been since his early years in LA. And you're seeing a lot of top 10s there. Yards per reception, target share, yards per touch, explosive rating. What the hell? How do you get in there? Yards created per touch. The guy missed 5 games last year and was still number 5 in receiving yards amongst running backs. He caught multiple passes in every single game, including playoffs, except for one. He's just a different type of back that Washington wants, a veteran to pair with Jaden Daniels that has a secure role. Like, guys, I didn't want to be the one to say this, but over a 17-game season, his pace last year was over 1,000 yards from scrimmage. And at the end of the day, I mean, Ekeler, he signed through 2025. This is just an offense I want to attach myself to, all right? Washington went from 25th in scoring in 2023 last year to number 5 because of Jaden Daniels, averaging 28.8 points per game. That actually would have been good for number 2 overall in 2023. Motherfucker. And obviously, this Washington team is only getting better, all right? So just you want to attach yourself to offenses like this for a very cheap price. Like I said, he's signed through 2025. This is a very deep running back class, so maybe there's a chance they grab a pass catcher, you know, in the 4th, 5th, 6th round or something like that. But if he plays well again, like Ekeler is a dude where his style of play can last late into his career outside of like a major injury that like derails him, you know? He's not a dude that they're asking to take a ton of inside carries. He's a dude that they get open in space on screens and outside runs and all that kind of stuff. So like, I think he could be a solid PPR RB3 for you for this year and maybe into 2026 if they resign him. So Eckler's rank, again, like way below what the actual late third pricing is. So for this last one, we're going to go a little bit higher here, and you're probably not going to be able to pull it off for a 3rd round pick. But if you could swing an early 3rd for him, or, you know, 2 mid 3rds for Adonai Mitchell, I'd be doing it in a heartbeat, okay? He is the wide receiver 65 in Dynasty right now. I know the numbers were not there, mainly because his passing offense was terrible, and he didn't play enough. Like, his snap share was only 35.6%, but he was putting defenders in a blender last year. His target rate was 27.1%. That was 16th among all NFL wide receivers. Like, not target share, obviously, of the overall offense, but that meant when he was running a route, he was targeted over 27% of the time because the dude's always fucking open. However, the problem was his catchable target rate was 50.9%. That was 106th in the NFL. There were like 7 throws from A-Rich that could have been touchdowns, that could have been 60-yard touchdowns. Like, Adonai Mitchell probably could have been like a 60 for 1,007 touchdown receiver this year if Anthony Richardson wasn't just the absolute woat last year. I'm going to be honest, I have no idea what this actual stat or number is, but according to ESPN's 2024 rookie receiver score, it went Malik Neighbors 1, Ladd McConkey 2, Adonai Mitchell 3. If you look at Fantasy Points Data Suite again, among 129 qualified wide receivers, he was 7th in overall win rate and 7th in average separation score, telling us nothing new here, that he's an elite route runner and separator. And I know, listen, there's very little to take away that was good from his rookie campaign in terms of actual raw numbers. And a lot of the time when rookies don't have good raw numbers as a rookie, it very rarely translates into bigger sophomore and junior years and great overall careers. But he's a dude that I loved as a prospect out of Texas, just his film, and I'm going to continue to double and triple down on him any chance I get to buy him low. When you look at the contract situation there, Josh Downs is obviously going to be there for a minute, and I think he's the one. Michael Pittman and Alec Pierce, I think there's a very good chance that they're both gone after 2025. Pierce's contract is up. Michael Pittman, they would legit save $24 million against the cap if they got rid of him after this year. So Mitchell's time is coming. Maybe it's this year, maybe it's the year after, but if you can get him for a third right now, he is the type of player that he does what is difficult for a lot of wide receivers to do, and that is just separate. And don't forget what he did at the combine last year. He is a fucking blazer too, okay? He is fast, downfield separator. If A-Rich can get his shit together, that is a duo that you want to be targeting, and a duo that can make some magic if they end up clicking. So there we have it. Those are 6 dudes that I would be sending a 3rd round rookie pick for right now. We have Isaac Guerendo. We've got Wan'Dale Robinson, Jordan Whittington, Mike Gesicki, Austin Ekeler, and Adonai Mitchell. You know, a little mix-up, little mixed cocktail there of tight ends, wide receivers, running backs, upside, floor, old, young, everything in between. So whatever fits your flavor and your roster, go attack these dudes. Like I said, Next week might be a lot of combine-focused recap video stuff, but I will do a version of this where it is players I'd be sending a 2nd-round rookie pick for right now. So if you enjoyed, again, hit the button that looks like this, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let me know different types of content that you'd like to see me make throughout the rest of the offseason. All right? I'm out of here. Smoochies.